Oh, hi again. This is the last part of the series I made about this manga. This time, I'll talk about the theme of loss and grief and how this manga deal with it. Spoiler warning. This video will spoil all of the story of if my wife became an elementary school student. This is your last warning. I suggest you to read it before watching this video since there are so many emotional twists and turns this manga has and I don't want to ruin it for you. Trust me, reading it is worth it. I don't mind if you had to pause this video to do it, honestly. Now, let's go! Nijima Keisuke. This is the third time I'm talking about this, so I'll be brief here. Take is the love of his life, so losing her hurts him deeply. He turned into a complete different person. He never smiles, never interact or talk to anyone anymore, including his own daughter, who also has to go through her own grief in some way. To borrow a quote from a character in this manga, it's like there's a hole inside of you in which you can never fill. Seriously, I have never lost someone that important to me like he does, but imagine myself in his position, I can't help but relate to him. Like, how can you put yourself together after losing someone you hold so dear? How can you live on for the rest of your life alone like that? The answer to that, I don't know. Similar to Keisuke, Mai became withdrawn and reserved after losing her mother. She will continue to be like that if not for a miracle to happen. She came back. Her mother really came back to them. Words couldn't even describe how happy they are. From then on, time began to move again. Their dove light seemed to get brighter and brighter. They were able to do all sorts of things together again. Eating together, going to an aquarium, going fishing, celebrating New Year, going on a trip, all possible because her mother comes back. There were conflicts and struggles too, of course, but by always being honest and having each other back, they overcame it all. Now, with the biggest problem that is Dage's new mother solved, they can finally have their happy ending together. They had promised to remarry in the future. Mai even found a boyfriend and now they are planning to get married. Things seem to go well. I mean, too well even. And that's precisely why. Isn't it unfair? That was a question throwing at Take when she revealed her secret with someone. To a certain degree, yes, it is. There are countless people who die with full of regrets out there. Why is she the only one who can have a second chance? There's also countless people who still mourn the disease out there. Why are they the only one who can reunite with each other? Things that seem too good to be true are usually not true, and they are about to learn that lesson the hard way. Discrepancies keep piling up together. Why can't she remember anything before the takeover? Why is there a difference in talent and personality between Take and Marika? As if they are not the same person. And most important of all, why is Take seemingly disappear after feeling satisfied about my future? And why did she come back when she saw the oath they make together? There's only one answer to all of those questions, and that's the most painful one. It's actually not a reincarnation, just a simple possession. That girl is not his wife reborn. but a random girl whose body was taken by his wife's spirit. There is no miracle. His wife is really gone and only her spirit remains. The regret from seeing her family unhappy is the only thing that keeps her linger in this world. With this realization comes an uncomfortable chill. He has to let her go, however painful it is. Of course, there was just one tiny problem. Isuke is unable to let her go. There was a time when they went to an aquarium. She was just supposed to go to a bathroom for just a minute, yet they didn't find her when they checked on her. Panic immediately set on Keisuke. No way! Was it just a dream? Was his wife coming back just an illusion all along? He hates this. He doesn't want her to disappear. He never wants to lose her again. Luckily, she was just lost and they quickly found her after. Still, this incident marks a troublesome flaw in Keisuke. He's unable to let her go. Well, I mean, to think about it, does she really have to go in the first place? Like, if she could just stay, then everyone will be happy, right? Right? Meet Izumo, the one who suggested this idea. Being troubled by what she should do, Take wants to find someone who can give her advice, and Izumo perfectly fit that role since he also someone who has taken over somebody. According to him, a possession happens when a person who wants to escape from reality meets a spirit who still has lingering feelings to this world. To the Izumo-kun who's afraid of bullying, and the Izumo-sensei who wants to become a novelist. The Marika who's afraid of going home, and the Take who wants to go home. Wouldn't just staying at it is a better choice for them? In the end, isn't this what they all want? To what Izumi has suggested, Take just smile and say, "Nah, I'm good. Everyone would be happy." Does that include Izumo-kun's and Marika's family, who's still anxiously waiting for their son daughter to return? Izumo-kun and Marika should leave this world. Everyone had times when they thought they want to die, but that's also an opportunity to overcome that and achieve happiness. No one has the right to take that away from them. No, this is our second chance. So why can't we just take it? What about your family, Take? Well, what happened has already happened. We have to accept it and move on. That's what we should do. That's what I should do. I shouldn't have come back to them in the first place. I should have put faith in them and trust that they can get back on their feet and continue living their life. And that is what true willpower is like. But by moving on, we will disappear from this world. What about your beloved husband? Well, this is what true love means, and I hope that you live a life free of regret. That is the conclusion that Take has reached, but still, it seems like Keisuke just doesn't get it. Every time he saw her, his eyes started to swell up. Every time he talked about it, he couldn't help but wallowing in misery. It was hard for him. Indeed, it was hard for him to let her go. But throughout the manga, there will be many characters who had gone through their own grief and pain. Through their struggle and triumph, they can show him the way. Renji-kun. He has a childhood friend who he holds dearly, in more ways than one. Unfortunately, she was taken away by the current 8 years ago. Since that day, never once did he forget about her. To ease his longing, he often finds himself fishing at the shore, hoping that maybe in one of those days he can at least find something from her. Even a piece of cloth is enough. He's also the one who said that quote in the beginning of the videos. It's like there's a hole inside of you in which you can never fill. Just like Keisuke, Renji was still hesitant. Should he keep holding on to her or should he just let her go? And as if to answer him that question, a minor miracle or something like that also happened to him. They suddenly found Kasmi's first and only belonging after so many years. She really comes back to him, just in a different form. And with that, they were finally able to say goodbye to her. That is the conclusion that Renji has reached, and that's also the lesson Keisuke should learn. You can't spend your life mourning forever. After a certain point, you just have to steel yourself up and let them go. It's better for them and it's better for you that way. Thanks to that, Renji can see a whole new perspective about marriage now. He was finally ready to move on with someone else, and that's why he can propose to Mai in front of the sea where his childhood friend lies before shouting goodbye to her. Renji's grandma. Renji's grandpa died 13 years ago, and the anniversary of his death was drawing near. Renji's grandma has known her husband for over 45 years, way longer than Keisuke and Take has. Curious about how she would feel after 13 years of living alone, Keisuke decided to talk to her. At first, she seems like a peculiar lady who likes to talk bad about her late husband, but through a friend of them, we found out that she really does love her husband more than anyone. All the talk that she has before about him was just her way of dealing with the loss of him. Then, wouldn't it be fine to ask for a miracle to happen when he came back to her? But then she answered, that would be way too luxurious. It was a miracle already with how many things came to you. Asking for more would just be selfish. But if that's the case, does he have to live on for the rest of his life full of pain like this? It's just not fair. She still insisted. Think of the person who had to leave you behind. When her husband died, he told her, "Hey, I hope you live for a long time." She was perplexed at first. Those words sounded like a curse to her, but eventually she understood him because she would have told him the exact same thing if she were in his place. To love is to wish and pray for the happiness of the other person. That's what her husband meant, and that's also what Take would want for her husband as well. That day, Keisuke learned another important lesson. What his wife wished was also for him to move on and find happiness in his life. That's what it means when you truly love someone. Take's sister, it is what Keisuke should do. But can he manage to do that, though? We all see how devastated he is without Take. This seems like an impossible task for him. Hmm, if there's someone who could convince him that it was possible, it could only be Take's own family, precisely Take's sister. When they were young, they seemed so unreliable. The oldest sister was carefree and irresponsible. The youngest sister was awkward and clumsy. Take was the only one who can get it together. She's frequently helped her mother and was really close to her. They had thought it could go on like this forever, and Take would be the one who take care of their parents when they get old. Then it happened. She's gone, and now they have to pick up what she left behind. It wasn't pretty, and they had to go through a lot of struggle. Yet somehow, through the sheer love they had for Take and their family, they managed to keep moving forward. Her younger sister now owns a business while taking care of her child and her parents simultaneously. Her older sister works in the city, but she still makes an effort to go back to her home frequently and help her sister when she needs. She's also the one who takes her time to visit Take's grave in her death anniversary. They even learned Take's signature dish just to keep her rolled up in the family. It goes without saying that they have all matured and become more responsible in their own way. As they going home, Keisuke asked Take's sister to deliver one message to her, and this is what she chose. Don't worry, they can take care of it. Just enjoy yourself in the afterlife. They have already got over her death. Their strength and resilience moved Keisuke and Take. What a great family they are. But of course, they are her family after all. And with that, Keisuke learned his last and final lesson. There will always be a future ahead of us. Happiness will come to you as long as you strive for. Now, with all the lesson taught to him by many people, it's time for Keisuke to put it on into practice. That doesn't mean it would be easy in any way. Just because he knows what he should do doesn't mean he can instantly do it. There will be a long road ahead reaching that goal. The idea is that by demonstrating his capability, he can show that he will be fine without her, which will lead to Take being content with her family and pass on. For that, Keisuke tried everything he could come up with, from distancing himself to her, to stop eating the food she made, to even overwork himself to prove that he's still a proficient worker. But nothing seems to work. The core issue is that Keisuke loves his wife more than anything in the world. So of course, no amount of effort can suit himself from losing her. The thought of leaving Keisuke suffering alone in this world was too much that it stopped Take from leaving him. Only one thing could solve this problem. Yes, one thing that has come up from time to time in this manga but often gets sidelined because of how invisible it is. You see, Keisuke will be married to someone else this time. Impossible! How can it be? Well, it's the only way for her mom to pass on and returning Marika back to her body by showing that Keisuke will not be alone after she leaves him. It goes without saying that this freaked Mai out. The thought of letting her mother go is too much to bear for her. In the end of the day, she loved her mom just as much as her father. After storming out of the restaurant, with nowhere to go and not knowing what to think, she can only think of one person right now, her mom. Meeting in the playground, Mai began to pour out her feelings to her mom. She still needs her. She can't do anything without her. She still wants to live together with her. Her mother said, There will be times when parents have to let their kids go to live on their own, just like taking the training wheels off them. It might be painful at first, but eventually you can learn to be happy again. It's time to let it go. And just like that, Mai came back to face her father. It's one last hurdle Keisuke has to overcome before saying goodbye to his wife. His biggest shame as a father. Something he should have told her when his wife passed away. I will just let this scene play out. My, those who die can come back to life, neither meet or talk to us, nor spend time with us, nor prepare delicious food, nor see the beautiful landscapes, nor celebrate birthdays, nor talk about the olden days. There will come a time when you can no longer be reunited with your loved one, but people have the power to look forward and continue living. Still unable to accept it, Mai storming back to her room, but Keisuke still pled to her. Mai, let's get through this as father and daughter. Let's say goodbye to your mother, as we should have done many years ago. Luckily, Mai eventually opened up and accepted him. Now, what's left to do is just to show Take his determination. One of the days, Keisuke and his partner sat on a bench in the twilight, exchanging the rings to each other. Witnessing that scenery, all the feelings inside Take right now is just peace. It's a relief to know that Keisuke would be fine from now on. And with that, her body begins glowing. She's already known what's happening. She looks at Mai in the eyes, says one last thing to her, before flowing away with a gust of wind. What's left is just Marika, the elementary school girl. Hearing that confirms something. Her mom has truly gone. She takes Marika to Keisuke. He asks her about her situation, and she confirms it to him. The story finally reached its ending. Or not? It was all a lie. Keisuke and Moria lied to both Mai and her mother just so that she can peacefully pass on. It's an incredible twist that reinforces Keisuke's character. He loves his wife more than anyone in the world and he willing to do anything for her. He never stopped loving his wife and he will never stop doing so. Now that it's done, it cannot be reversed in any way. They will now have to return back to their old days. Days without their wife, mother begins from now on. But there still lies behind the tunnel. Keisuke gets to say goodbye to his wife in his dream one last time. Marika was able to reunite with her mom. Mai gets to marry to her partner. Everyone's life still continue on after all that happened, and the manga ends on a positive note, with Keisuke finally found peace and is content with his life. Him eating lunch was the beginning of the story, so right now it's perfectly fitting that he's eating once again to close it off. In the special epilogue, you can see what the characters were up to after 5 years since the end. But most importantly, you can see that Kisuke was playing with his grandchildren, signifying the bright future ahead of all of them. And just like that, we finally finished this video. Oh man, that was exhausting. I spent so much time making this project, and I think I bit more than I can chew, to be honest. But at last, I finally finished all three parts of what I want to say about this manga. There's some parts I wish I could have done better, but I'm fine with it for now. There's so many details and characters I unfortunately had to skip for the sake of making this shorter, and that's a shame. Still, I think the themes of this series were pretty self-evident, which is the main part, so I don't think I need to go any beyond for it. You can consider new details Easter eggs if you find them when you read it. On the topic of theme, I could maybe talk about how love and commitment were portrayed in this manga. But man, I don't think I can handle making another video about this. It's not like that's what the center of this manga either, so I think I can safely move on for now. Don't get me wrong, I love this manga, of course. I even gave it a 9.5 out of 10, the highest score I will ever give to a series. But I have my own limit, and I think three parts was enough to convey what I like about this manga. Oh, and this manga will have an upcoming anime adaptation, so there's a good timing if you decide to check it out now. Please comment down below what you think about the series or about my video. I'm looking forward to reading it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Goodbye.